We're here to help raise funds for Charity Water, specifically their September campaign, which focuses on the people in Orissa, India. The great thing I've discovered while putting this together is that it's not just that we're giving to the people in Orissa, but we also have such great speakers here. We're also giving back to you who are listening who decided to donate. Nothing brings me more joy than to be able to do two things at once. You know, you say you can't multitask. Well, I don't know about that anymore because I think we're doing it now. So we are very lucky to have Melinda Emerson with us today. And we're just blessed. I met her at the Urban League Conference a couple years ago. We touch base every so often, got to keep things warm. And she's working on a number of things, including being a New York Times writer. Is that correct?
Absolutely, every Friday.
Every Friday. So we're going to have some different questions that you guys out there asked. We have someone who's going to be joining in live with us. So we're just going to work from there. Melinda, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Mike. You know, this is such a wonderful cause, and, you know, you are such a good steward of your relationships and friendships.
Orissa, India.
And I'm very happy to be able to support you and to support this effort.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So it looks like we have someone who just joined us here. Is that Grover?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Very well, very well. Well, we have Melinda here, and we are here to serve. Two things. One is we're raising money. That's straight up. Right? We don't have any problem with that. Number two is really to serve. So I'm going to give you the floor. Grover, what question do you have for Melinda?
Hey, Melinda, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. It's a pleasure talking to you.
So tell me, how can I help you with your business?
Well, we're just trying to figure out exactly how to grow. We're a small technology company here based out of Orlando. We build custom applications and things of that nature, and we're focusing on a pretty niche product that we're focusing on and trying to launch to the market.
Okay.
I want to kind of tap into your expertise and see exactly what it is that you do and how you can actually help what we're trying to do as far as building and quitting our day job, to say the least, to get a small business up and running.
Got it. So are you coming out with an app that people are going to be able to download on iPads and iPhones and Androids?
Yes, yes.
So it's consumer facing, and that's the only product that you have?
It's consumer facing. It's
Okay.
consumer facing.
Well, I think the number one thing you're going to have to do is just build a following for your product before it comes out. I mean, the number one thing that you can do is you cannot start promoting your product too early. I realize that, you know, in the app world, in the app races, you want to, like, you know, keep it proprietary, keep it close to your vest until you're ready to launch. But the reality is that the more you can pique people's interest before your app comes out, the more likely it is people will download it. You know, I don't know, what part of the market your app is focused on, but I know for myself, when I was working on releasing my first book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, well, 18 months before my book was to be released, my publisher bumped my date, like pushed me back. So my book was supposed to come out 9 months after I wrote it, and then they doubled the time and said, we're going to release it 18 months from now. So my book was originally supposed to come out in April, and instead it came out in March of 2010. And what I did was I took to social media. I tweeted 3 times a day. I answered somebody's small business question. I shared something personal about myself, and I shared some piece of content that wasn't written by me. So I shared other people's information, and what that did was it helped me be what I call a good friend raiser, right? So when you share other people's content, you make other people pay attention to you, and they might like it. And then by the time your product comes out, you've already built community, and so those people will then come and support you without you even asking. You might even get yourself to the point where people are clamoring for your product or your app. So the thing you've got to do is you know, it's like when you were a little kid and you first went to kindergarten or first grade, right? And your dad probably said to you, look, if you want friends, you must be friendly, okay? And the same thing is true in the social media world. If you want to have people in social media support you, you have to support them, and you can't be unauthentic just looking like you're trying to be like, buy my stuff, oh, by the way, buy my stuff. No, you got to come at them with some value, add to the conversation, become a partner, become a community member, and then people will come and support you without you even asking. That's what happened to me anyway. So by the time my book came out, I had 10,000 followers on Twitter, and these days I have north of about 250,000. So if you continue to be a good steward of your information and you're adding something of value, your app adds something of value, you know, people will build a path, you know, beat a path to your door. I'm living proof.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear. I'm taking notes, so if my eyes kind of go down, please excuse me.
No problem.
As you think of your next question there, Grover. I don't know if you ready.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Melinda, we kind of jump right in it because that's what we do.
Sure.
But tell us a little bit about some of the things you're working on. I mean, I know you from your first book, but I know you don't stay still.
No, I'm part Jamaica, man. I work a lot of jobs, right? So certainly, I'm very excited to have another opportunity every week to write for the New York Times. I write the social media and small business column for the You're the Boss blog of the New York Times. So I'm really busy with that. I am really excited. I've got an upcoming trip to Singapore. I'm going to be speaking at the World Entrepreneurship Forum in Singapore at the end of October, so I'm really excited about that. I've never been to Asia before, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to speak at that conference. And I'm really excited because my foundation, the Melinda F. Emerson Foundation, is throwing my very first conference October 12th in my town in Philadelphia. It is completely free. We are sold out. Please do not email me. I have no more tickets to give, but I am so excited that we're going to have 100 entrepreneurs with us. We're going to be giving out free information. I have some of the top small business experts from across the country: Lena West, Barry Moulds, Ramon Ray, Ellen Ron. These guys are coming into town on their own dime to work with my entrepreneurs at my conference. So I am over the moon excited about that. And I'm working on book 2. Book 2 is going to be out next summer. It's going to be a social media book. So I'm really, really excited about that. But certainly if you can't wait till then, you always can get my ebook, How to Be a Social Media Ninja, which you can get on my website, succeedasYourOwnBoss.com.
Cool. Grover, do you have another question for us?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, when you're trying to decide upon price points, what's the best strategy in regards to thinking what you should charge consumers?
Well, I think when it comes to apps, if you're trying to price out apps, I would say you got to look at the competition. You got to look at what's selling. You also have to figure out if a freemium model might be the right model for you. You know, give the first level away free and then get people addicted, and then, you know, start upselling them like the Angry Birds people did. You know, the Angry Birds people were real smart. They gave it away free, and then they got everybody addicted, and now they sell everything from, you know, teddy bears to, you know, I mean, it's amazing. So you need to look at the marketplace. You need to look at what people are buying, what people's thresholds are. You know, apps still, you know, are somewhat adopted, but, you know, really only 10 to 12% of the iPhone world is using apps. So you want to be careful depending on whether it's targeting, you know, women or men or gamers or kids. Like, I don't really know what your niche is, but, you know, if it's my kid, I'm always like, JoJo, if it costs something, you know the answer is no. So so we're all about the free apps on the iPad, but you know, it just really depends on what you're selling and what your long-term end game is, not your short-term. I would caution you really need to think long-term instead of short-term, because whenever you do things for a check, that 9 times out of 10 sometimes is not always what's in the best interest of your business and having business long-term. The other thing I would do is partner. See if there's another organization out there that already has a foothold in your market that you guys might be able to partner with, or frankly even sell to. You know, don't fall in love with your app. Be willing to sell it. So I definitely think that all of those things could be good strategies for you as you look at your pricing.
Okay, sounds good.
Melinda, I think you're talking a little bit too fast. You gotta let Grover write.
No, I'm fine. Go ahead.
You gotta give Grover a chance to write.
Go ahead, please.
No, this is awesome information. But Grover, you have more questions. We're here for you.
Yeah, I understand that, but you can go ahead and ask a couple because I'm picking up stuff as she talks as well. So.
Okay, so looking at from a small business, you know, I feel like I want to ask you some social media questions.
Well, go ahead.
You know, about being a ninja. What is that all about? What is it? What is the I'm trying to think the big word, like antithesis of a ninja, and how I start there.
Newbie.
Okay. How do I go from a newbie? What's the first step? Because I'm not trying to snatch a pebble out of your hand on the first day. You know.
Sure. Well, when you're first getting started with social media, the number one thing you've got to do is make sure you've got a great website, right? If you don't have a good website, you are wasting your time with social media, because social media is nothing more than a great opportunity to send traffic to your site, right? So you've got to make sure that you have a great website and that you have at least 3 to 5 ways to engage people on your website to give you their email address, because social media is great, but email is still king. Do not get it twisted. So it's very important for you to figure out, what do you have to offer as a free download, as a free quote, as a free product sample? You know, is there an e-newsletter they can sign up for? Is there something else that you offer that would be of value to them? That's what you've got to figure out first and foremost. Secondly, then you've got to figure out who your target customer is. Who is it that you want to speak to using social media? Then the third thing you've got to figure out is, where does that specific target customer spend time online? So many people are knocking themselves out trying to do Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Look, you don't have to do all that. You need to do one really well. You need to pick one. And once you pick that one that you're going to focus on, the next thing you've got to do is figure out, what is your content strategy going to be? Now, as I discussed earlier, in the first 6 months that I was on Twitter, I didn't have a blog. I just shared other people's content. But I was still working. I was working on my content. I was writing my blog posts in advance, getting ready for my blog to come out. But the reason why I shared other people's content for 6 months before I launched my blog is because I wanted to build up a following. I wanted to become part of the community, because I knew once I launched my own blog, I wanted people to support me, and that's exactly what happened. The first day that I launched my blog, I had 6 comments on my blog, which is unheard of. Normally it takes 6 months to a year of blogging before anybody pays any attention to you. However, if you join the community, you become part of the community, you share helpful information, and I love to be a, I tell people all the time that you should be sweet and retweet other people's content all the time. I am very generous with retweets, and that's the reason why so many people follow me. I mean, I average 1,000 to 1,500 followers a week, and it's because I only share quality information.
Two questions for you. One is, first, you talk about, hey, find out where your people are online. How do you go about doing that, when you have to make that choice?
Well, the first thing you need to do is you've got to know what your keywords are. And there's lots of free keyword tools out there. There's Word Tracker, Overture, Google Keyword Tool. Although Google just changed how their keyword tool works, so you've got to look at that. But you've got to figure out what the top 5 to 7 keywords are in your industry. And then you just need to start doing searches on those keywords and really figuring out where your target customers are hanging out online. Who is talking about your keywords? Who is sharing information from your keywords? It's also a good way to figure out what your competitors are doing too. And that's actually why I love Twitter so much, because you could be listening to your customers or your competitors and nobody even knows you're listening. So all you got to do is know the right hashtags, know your keywords, and that is really what is going to propel your business forward in your industry. And getting that good listening information.
Excellent.
Good.
Robert, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering, in regard to small businesses, Melinda, what do you recommend as far as the best ways of actually getting started, right? Most entrepreneurs kind of always have day jobs and they kind of work on their small business on the side, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, I wrote a whole book about this, right? So my book is called Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months. And basically what it is a 6-step system to transition from having a job to starting a business. So I'm going to give you the cliff notes real quick. All right, Robert, you ready? All right. Now, first of all, what you need is a life plan. You need to figure out why you're really starting this business and how much money you need to make to be happy. That's going to be real important, because the fact that you don't have a job but that you hate your job is not a good reason to start a business. You got to get real clear about it. The second thing you've got to do is you got to have a financial plan, because guess what? The money to start your business is going to come from your right or your left pocket. So your ability to save has everything to do with how fast you're going to be able to walk away from your job, because it takes on average 18 to 36 months for a small business to break even, let alone replace your corporate salary. So you got to get real clear. You need to be saving 20 to 40% of every check. If you have a spouse, you want to be able to live on one of you guys' salary. That's how tight you're going to have to get with your budgeting. So you have to get your financial plan together first and foremost. then you've got to look at what skills you have versus what skills you need to run your particular kind of business. Like if you want to start a restaurant, I suggest you go work in one so that you understand just how hard that is. And certainly if you are an app developer and you work in IT, there may be another company that you can freelance with on the side, so you can just kind of understand how hard it is to get those contracts, how fast the money turns, how much money it really takes to develop something. You want to learn that on somebody else's dime and on somebody else's time, right? And certainly if you're working at your job and you need some training, you might be able to get your current job to pay for the training you need before you leave. So that's another reason why you want to look at your skills. The fourth thing you want to do is really figure out who that paying customer is. Too often I see people, they'll start a business, might even be a good business, but they couldn't tell you if their life depended on it, who their niche target customer is. And that is a mistake. You have to know from the door who is going to pay you money and why they're going to do it. Because it's really about developing your secret sauce or your moonwalk, if you will. You got to figure out what it is that makes you special in the marketplace. The world's not looking for yet another graphic design company. They could kill it, right? But the world is looking for a graphic design company that specializes in developing educational materials. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's about becoming a specialist. Who makes more money, your cardiologist or your primary care physician? Well, all the cardiologists I know drive Lamborghinis, so I want to figure out how to become the cardiologist for my industry. And then the fifth thing you got to do is you really do have to write a business plan. You know, don't spend more time planning your vacation than you do how you're going to support your family financially, right? Actually develop a plan so then you can work your plan. And one of the best ways to develop a business plan is to use some software. There's a lot of free software online. Nloop.com is a great free software for developing a business plan. So don't be out here buying stuff. You don't need to do that. But you do need to develop a business plan. And then guess what? You actually need to use it to run your business, right? So, you know, because really your first business plan is nothing more than your hypothesis of what you think is going to happen in your business, right? Once you get some data, once your business gets exposed to the marketplace, you're going to have a lot better information so that you can determine how it is your business will work in terms of it, you know, who your customer really is versus who you thought it was going to be. And then lastly, step 6 in the Emerson planning system and become your own boss in 12 months is launch your business while you're still working. I want you to be working both jobs till it hurts. You understand? I mean, literally, most people are starting businesses that they're working on their weekends and their evenings. And you can most certainly do that while you're working. The other thing you want to do, too, is see if you can negotiate flex time at your job. Can you work 4 days? Can you work 7 to 3? You know, you're going to need daytime hours to meet with people and partner with people and talk to vendors and stuff like that. So you see if you can negotiate to telecommute, do 4 hours a week, do 4 days a week, or do flex time so you can work 7 to 3 so that you can do your 8 for them and do your other 5 for you every day. So that's really what it takes in order for you to start and grow a profitable and sustainable small business. But again, I wrote a whole book about it. So if you want more information than that, you should grab Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, a month-by-month guide to a business that works.
Sounds good.
You should definitely grab that guide. And Melinda, you have definitely given us a lot. We're already at time. So Grover, I hope you appreciate it, because this is some serious stuff that she gave you the cliff notes to. I do own the book. It is a powerful book. I've been following Melinda since we met at the Urban League Conference, and I learned a lot from her from a social media standpoint. I remember I was on her Twitter chat show, and that changed everything, because I noticed that was a way that works for me to connect with people and be able to share my knowledge with a whole bunch of people. And she was like, behind the scenes, make sure you follow everybody who's there. And I did, and you know, it's made a world of difference. So okay. I do want to say thank you once again for being here, for helping us to move the cause forward, and that's it. So,
okay.
All right, go Charity Water. We gotta raise this money.
Woo! Get that money. Thanks again.
All right, no problem. Good luck.
It was my pleasure, Grover. If I can be more help, just email me.
All right. Hopefully I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Good enough.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.